Today's video is brought to you by Hex Gaming. Let me ask you a question. Do you need that competitive edge in that first-person shooter, third-person shooter? Are you just getting straight clapped by the competition? Or how about that raid in that console MMO? Do you need something to give you some ease for your next cooldown, make your rotation a little bit simpler? You need some customizable buttons? Or do you just want a flashy controller? Visit Hex Gaming today and use promo code TNEC127 to get 5% off anything you order in the Hex Gaming store. That's hexgaming.com. Use promo code TNEC127 at checkout to get yourself a discount. Enjoy the video, guys. Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is TNEC127 and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about Gunfire Reborn. That's right, it is finally available on a console platform, but it's coming to consoles. Don't you guys worry, we're going to talk about that here in today's video. But before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special shout out and a special thank you to 505 Games for hooking me up with a review copy for Gunfire Reborn and early access to the game. I have actually been playing Gunfire Reborn since about 2 weeks before it launched on Xbox Series platforms and Xbox One consoles and the Microsoft Windows 10 store. However, due to limitations and me being away out of my office, I wasn't able to record any early footage or anything like that. And with some of the bugs that are going on in this game, I'm honestly glad that I wasn't able to. And I'm glad that, they've actually fixed a little bit of them since that time has passed. Now, with that being said, Gunfire Reborn hasn't been the most stable experience since it came out on console and launched on Windows 10, but it is one hell of a fun game. So first off, let's talk about Gunfire Reborn. What is Gunfire Reborn? Well, Gunfire Reborn is a looter shooter roguelite RPG hybrid. Now, I know that's a mouthful, so we're just going to go ahead and call it a roguelite game. I want y'all to think Arcadegeddon, think Risk of Rain, games like that, where you basically go into procedurally generated levels, get as far as you can, you die, you start over. But don't let that damper your experience, because Gunfire Reborn does have a sense of progress. There is a leveling system where you can make your characters stronger and stronger for these runs. But however, I do want to let you guys know that this game favors a lot of old school FPS mechanics, so the enemies are challenging. They are brutal. They gang up on you. There is no option to sprint and stuff like that. You can definitely tell, it was a game made with that classic PC FPS feel in mind. But it translates great to controller, and it feels great on console, and it even runs well on console. Oh, look at that. I'm running 160 plus FPS on the Xbox Series X. Yes. That's right, this console game is running at over 120 FPS on console. That's crazy, and I've seen it happen on Xbox Series X, and I've seen it happen on Xbox Series S. My son owns the Xbox Series S. Him and I have played this game side by side on high-resolution monitors, and guys, it runs phenomenal. Now, that's just, stability gameplay-wise. There are server issues with this game. Like, for example, there's an issue where Xbox players can't invite Windows 10 players. I think Windows 10 players have to host games in order to invite their Xbox brethren. Another issue is we were promised a console release for this game for a long time. It was actually first brought up last year, I believe, sometime late in 2021, where Gunfire Reborn was said that it was going to be coming to consoles here in 2022. We only got an Xbox version. From what I hear from the community and what they're asking for, Gunfire Reborn is also supposed to launch on PlayStation and supposedly Nintendo Switch. I find Nintendo Switch believable because they also put Gunfire Reborn on mobile. So if they put it on mobile, I think it's pretty likely that they could put it on Switch. And seeing that this game can run at, 160 plus FPS on next-gen consoles, I'm pretty sure it can run at 30 or 60 on a Nintendo Switch. So I'm not too concerned or doubtful that the game won't come to Switch. But if you look at this game and you see it and you thought like a roguelite version of Borderlands with animals at first glance, I would have to tell you, you're pretty much absolutely light. Right. Each different character, is basically a different type of class in the game. They all have different special abilities and things like that. There are actually 2 characters missing from the game. There is a DLC that came out recently on the PC version of Gunfire Reborn. Xbox and Windows 10 do not have access to that DLC yet. And one thing I do also want to remind you guys that it is a paid DLC. How much it costs, I don't exactly remember how much it is on the base PC version. So do expect when that DLC comes out to pay a bit of extra change for the extra characters and content that does come in that DLC. Which is, kind of an unfortunate thing in a day and age where live service and free updates is a regular thing. That is pretty much a bummer. Now, like I said, Gunfire Reborn, it's a lot of fun. You run through these roguelike procedurally generated areas. Each level has about 4 or 5 different stages. You get to the 5th stage. There's a big boss with crazy mechanics that you have to take on. These bosses can have things like crazy large AoE attacks, different puzzle-like mechanics you have to go through to try and beat them. All kinds of different fun and good exciting challenges. The content in Gunfire Reborn is amazing. It's just the bugs right now with the game are a pain. And another thing about Gunfire Reborn that also does bother me is the lack of just, features and customization. Now, you guys will recall earlier here on the channel earlier this year, I did cover another roguelike called Arcadegeddon. Now, when you look at Gunfire Reborn, it's a $30 game. Arcadegeddon is a $20 or $30 game. I think Arcadegeddon is $30 if I'm not mistaken. Arcadegeddon gets nothing but free back-to-back updates, has complete character customization. There is a loadout system built into it, and it's pretty much a big cosmetic-like grind with a lot of different levels, features, and just, all kinds of fleshed-out goodies. When you look at Arcadegeddon and then you compare it to something like Gunfire Reborn, Gunfire Reborn is going to seem a bit on the bare bones side. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's a lot of fun. It's a good solid roguelike, but if you take the two and compare them, you'll definitely see that Gunfire Reborn does have some catching up to do. Like, for example, in Arcadegeddon, you can fully customize your characters, put different things on them, stuff like that. Gunfire Reborn, there's not really any type of customization whatsoever for these characters. You can't get different outfits for them or anything. They're a class. That's how they look. That's how you take them in. That's it. Now, there's different skill points and things you can unlock for them to make them better, stronger, for your runs, make your runs more interesting and stuff like that, and all kinds of crazy builds you can do, sure. But guys, like I said, and I know I keep using Arcadegeddon as a reference, and that's because it's a roguelite that also came out this year recently. That's also available on all platforms with crossplay. Just some of those things, it, like I said before, it can make Arcadegeddon just look like a bit more of a bare bones experience. But the things I will give Arcadegeddon is the different classes. They are all crazily different. Like, each one has different unique abilities. From one class, you'll have like this bunny who has this electric orb ball that can freeze enemies and stuff like that. Another class, you'll have this dual wield weapon toting bear that does like a Gunzerk in a Borderlands. You'll have another class that's like a sword wielding magical bunny. She can cast all types of crazy spells and have flying swords and going. Like, these classes are vastly different, and there's so many different ways to play. But like I said, with Gunfire Reborn's, bugs and issues that it's having right now, there's even a bug on one of the first bosses where if you attack him with like a certain type of, I think, element or something like that, it'll freeze your controller and you can't finish the fight. Like, there are some serious bugs and issues in Gunfire Reborn right now. It's a fun game. It's an awesome game. I definitely see, why people do love Gunfire Reborn so much. But if you want to purchase it on Xbox right now, I would just be very cautious about what you're diving into. And do remember that if you want more out of the game, you're going to be paying extra for that DLC most likely later on, unless, the developers are feeling generous and decide to give it to us for free, which I highly doubt. But anyway, guys, y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. Let me know if you plan on trying Gunfire Reborn down in the comments below. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.